Hello, this is my second video about subtraction strategies. The first one had a number with a lot of zeros in it, where there's a good reason that you might want to use borrowing or regrouping. So I'm going to choose one that has a few more elements so you can decide for yourself which strategies are the most useful to help students, and I'd love to know what you think. So the first one, the column method where pupils are borrowing, is one that I find has problems with it because pupils often who aren't secure in the strategy tend to find the difference rather than recognize that they're subtracting. So for example, if they have a sum like this, they'll think to themselves 5 and 7 have a difference of 2, and they'll write down 2 instead of recognizing that actually at least it should be 5 take 7 is minus 2, or they should be borrowing and regrouping, change this from 30 to 20 and borrowing. So pupils tend to go 3 take 9 is 6, and they get 362, which is obviously incredibly frustrating because it's completely wrong, and it's a very bad habit that they get into and can't seem to get out of once they're stuck in it, probably because they've done it for years and years in primary school, because even when you show them it's wrong and they say, yes, I understand, they still persist in doing it. But if they're doing it correctly, the borrowing method should have them going 8 take 4 is 4, 1 take 6 in this algorithm I can't do, so it become 400, 110 take 60 is 50, 400 take 900 I can't do, so I'm going to change to 1000, 1400 take 900 is 500, and 1 take nothing is 1, 1554. Sorry about the writing, I just can't quite see the page through my phone. So the method that I prefer for the same subtraction is the balancing method or the swapping method. So again, 8 take 4 is fine, that's going to be 4. I can't do 10 take 60 or 1 take 6, so I'm going to balance it out by increasing this side by 100, so that's going to become 110. But to balance it out, I'm going to have to add 100 to this side as well, so that's going to become, instead of 900, adding one on becomes 1000, so that's 100 greater, and that's 100 greater, so it's balanced out. So now 110 take 60, or if you're being lazy, 11 take 6 is 5, or in reality 50. 5 take 10 I can't do, or 500 take 1000 I can't do, so I'm going to increase this by 1000 and therefore balance it by increasing this side by 1000 as well, so it's always going on a little diagonal. 1500 take 9 add 1 1000, or 900 add 100 1000 gives me 500, or if I'm cheating, 15 take 10 is going to be 5, and now 2 take 1, or really 2000 take 1000 is 1000. The same result as here. Arguably, once you're used to this method, it's extremely fast because you're not explaining anything, whereas this one's still a bit messy and slow, but not as bad as before with all the zeros. So now the number line method, the one that's preferable if your pupils have problems with counting backwards and if they're good at their number bonds as well. So 964, I'm going to count to the nearest 100, or in this case the nearest 1000, so to 1000. My number bonds are all right, so I know it's going to be 36. It's pretty easy to count from 1000 to 2518. That's going to be 1518. All I need to do now is add them together, so I haven't had to subtract anything, I've just been counting on, which is much nicer for some pupils. 8 add 6 is 4, carry the 1 is going to be 5, 5, 1, so 1554, the same result. For pupils who aren't as good at their number bonds, who might want to break it down a bit more, maybe they find it difficult to count to the nearest 100 or the nearest 1000, the slow and steady method is still fine, and they can gradually become better at it and more fluent. So they can count on first to the nearest 10, 970, adding on 6, and then they have to count on to the nearest 100, or in this case, incidentally, the nearest 1000, so they're going to have to add on 30. And if they're not very good at counting at this stage, they might want to first count to 2000, though you'll obviously would gradually encourage them to become a bit faster at this part, and they can add on 1000, and then if they're very slow, add on 500, then 10, then 8, but hopefully they would quickly see how much more efficient it is to just say 518, and you add all these parts together. And adding 6. 8 is 6, 4, carry the 1, 5, 5, and 1. Give you the same result, a little bit more slow, but still just as accurate as using this method. This one obviously is extremely fast, but takes up a bit more space. This one's very fast, but only really works if you understand why it works and understand the idea of balancing, which perhaps requires some algebraic understanding. And then this method that's very familiar, but can lead to this problem of finding difference instead of actually subtracting from the first number. All right, thank you very much.